out that Apple shares also continuing to move lower in the after-hours trade after dropping about 1.5% during the CAS session. This after the company introduced its new iPhone lineup, as well as smartwatches and an updated version of its AirPods. Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, the managing editor of Consumer Tech, told us what to expect. And Mark, I guess we got what we were expecting. When you look at the presentation, how it was rolled out, and how they sort of pitch these devices, where do you think the uptake is going to potentially be by the consumer when they're finally able to get their hands on them?
Well, I thought it was a very cohesive keynote. I think they did a really good job from a marketing perspective, trying to get people interested in this new iPhone Air. You know, the iPhone Air has a series of drawbacks that make it pretty impractical for the modern smartphone user. One back camera, mediocre battery life, no speakers on the bottom. It's just that one speaker in the earpiece. So this is not a phone that people should be going out and buying to replace their high-end iPhones, their high-end Samsung phones, you name it. But they pitched it as the future. They pitched it as something super cool to have. And so they're not really positioning this much differently than the MacBook Air originally 20 years ago. And I think it's going to drum up some sales, but really from a practical standpoint, I think the pros are where it's at this year. For me personally, I think the new iPhone 17 Pro Max is really hot. 6 hours of battery life boost. The iPhone 16 Pro and the 15 Pro before it, they have this titanium frame that dissipates heat terribly. It could overheat in your hand. They finally fixed that with this new 17 Pro model. I love the new orange color. The deep blue looks cool. So I think these new Pro phones are going to do extraordinarily well in the holiday season. iPhone 17 comes in at $800, no price hike. So far, so good from what I'm seeing on these new phones.
No price hike. That might explain some of the share reaction, Mark. But I want to talk a little bit about the AirPods Pro 3. You actually saw Duolingo shares at one point drop 5% after we got some details that this model will have live translation capabilities. Duolingo shares did ultimately recover, but talk us through what we learned there.
Yeah, so we reported about 6 months ago that these live translation features are coming. I think they're going to be quite useful. The way it works essentially is if two people who speak different languages are wearing the AirPods and they speak to each other, they'll hear each other but in their native tongue. So that is pretty nifty. Samsung, Google have had these features for a while. Apple introduced these features on their phones and other devices actually in June as part of iOS and iPadOS 26. So this is not entirely new. This is sort of the AirPodsification of it. The bigger thing is actually the heart rate sensor, because now you're pushing more people in the Apple ecosystem towards fitness. They have the $10 a month Fitness Plus subscription. This could get people hooked on the fitness idea and heart rate functionality, maybe push them to eventually upgrade to a pricier Apple Watch. So I think overall a pretty substantial and nifty upgrade, I should say, to the AirPods Pro. And then also, who can forget the Apple Watches? First end-to-end revamp to the line in 3 years. The Apple Watch SE at $250 gets a really great upgrade, better display quality, some new health features. The Ultra, which I've already pre-ordered, satellite connectivity. So if you are lost in the wilderness or you like to go hiking like I do and leave your phone behind in the car, you'll be able to reach emergency services from your watch. Yeah. And then you have hypertension detection coming, actually backdated to Apple Watches from 2 years ago. Over a 30-day period can let you know if it senses that you have high blood pressure.
Well, I run straight into the woods and I don't look back, so I don't need the satellite features. But I'm excited for you, Mark. I know it's been a busy day. That is Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, of course, reporting live on Apple's big hardware day.